Today, we're joined by Denny Drager, a certified financial planner and private wealth advisor with Legacy Financial Partners in Fargo. Denny has 37 years of experience as a financial advisor and has been named a Forbes North Dakota Best in State Wealth Advisor in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Leave it or roll it.
Well, good morning, Heidi.
Good morning.
It's been about a month.
It has been about a month. So we're talking about, whether you leave it or you roll it. And I think that's kind of a fun little name for what you have to talk about, especially when we're talking finances. So, but what it's about is retirement. So many of our viewers have retired, correct? So they've lost their jobs maybe or changed jobs even. What should they do with, their company retirement plans?
Well, that's a good question. When you look at it, there's really two types of retirement plans that are sponsored by employers. One is a pension plan and one is a defined contribution plan. We have limited time today, so I'll just talk specifically about defined contribution plans.
Okay, that sounds great. Tell us all about it.
Well, the most common type of defined contribution plan is called a 401k plan, where employees and employers can put money away for your retirement. And I think one of the most important decisions you have to make if you lose your job or if you retire is whether to leave the money in the plan or whether to roll it to your personal IRA. And I find the best way to make decisions is to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of that decision.
So why would you want to leave the funds in the plan?
Well, I can think of three reasons that people leave money in the plan. The first has to do with the perception of cost. So many people feel that the costs inside of a 401k plan are less than your own personal IRA. Now that may or may not be true. It has to do with who is the plan sponsor, who is the plan provider, the size of the plan. Those types of things are all things that are components of that. To really know for sure, you got to look at the plan fee disclosure. And another thing to keep in mind, Heidi, is just because there's lower cost doesn't mean you're going to get better results. The second reason I think has to do with access to the funds, especially if you are going to retire between 55 and 59 and a half. Most 401k plans don't or have a provision saying that if you're separated from service, you can get the money out between 55 and 59 and a half without the normal 10% penalty. If you roll it to a personal IRA and you try to get those funds out, you would have a penalty accessing those. And so for many people, they'll keep enough money in there for 5 years of distributions. And the last reason is for creditor protection. A 401k is covered under ERISA, and under federal law, there's better creditor protection. So if you work in an occupation where you're subject to lawsuits, you might want to leave some of the money in the plan.
All right. So now why would someone roll their 401k plan to their IRA?
Well, I think the most common reason is actually investment choices. Most 401k plans have limited investment choices, typically mutual funds. If you roll to your own personal IRA, you can use investments that are consistent with what your needs are. Perhaps you want a guaranteed source of income for the rest of your life. Maybe you want an investment that's going to manage risk in the event of market fluctuations. And also keep in mind that just because it's in your personal IRA doesn't mean it's going to cost more than your 401k plan. The second reason really has to do with estate planning. Most 401k providers have very estate estate beneficiary options. And so if you have stepchildren or step-grandchildren, if you have minor children, or if you want to name a trust as the beneficiary, typically an IRA is going to be a better choice for you than your 401k plan. And the last reason, I believe, has to do with when you're looking at your personal IRA account, the access to the funds. In your 401k plan, you may need to have an employer signature saying you have the right to take the money out. But if you're in your own personal IRA, you can get the funds out within 2 to 5 days. A 401k plan, it could take weeks. The other issue is that many 401k plans say you have to take the money out on a pro rata basis, where if you have your own personal IRA, you can use other strategies to take money out, and that's very important in a volatile market.
Good information. So much to think about. I mean, really. But your team's going to help us out with that, right?
Right, and we have a brochure that's called Leave It or Roll It.
Okay.
And we're more than happy to send this out to people that are interested in this material. Just call into our office. I believe you're going to have our phone number on the screen, and we'll make sure we get it out to you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so very much. And where are you guys located again?
We're at 2300 13th Avenue South. We're just east of 25th Street and just south of 13th Avenue. And we have 6 financial advisors that can help you determine whether to leave it or roll it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Denny. Appreciate you being with us. Stay with us. We have your daily dose of motivation next.